Hi everyone, thanks for giving us the time today. I'm Neil.
I'm Evie.
And as mentioned, we're going to talk to you about improving customer information at GA. So first of all, just a little bit about GA, and appreciate a lot of you, if not all of you in here, will be familiar with us as a train company, so won't go through all the facts, but as the name suggests, we operate in the east of England, in Anglia, towards Cambridge. Norwich is Stansted Airport, services out of Liverpool Street. And you may or may not be aware that we were the latest train operator to transfer into DfT operator last week, so 9 days ago, I think now. In terms of our team, just to introduce ourselves in a tiny bit more detail, and the whole of my team is not on here, but just for an overview, I'm the head of customer experience, so look after the strategic direction of the business with customer satisfaction. We also have a data and insight unit, which really, and we'll come to this in a second, really looks to understand what customers are saying about us as an operator, and then how we then use that to drive things forward.
And then myself and some others in the team, we're the CX business partners. So what we do is we take all the data and the insight and push it back out to the business to then drive forward improvements that customers then eventually see. And then we also work closely with the accessibility and inclusion team, who are just looking to deliver an accessible and inclusive railway for everyone, and also make sure that we're compliant in all the areas that we should be for.
So our approach to improving customer information so far is really centred around three different things. Firstly, and as I've talked about a bit now, data maturity, and that includes seeking out more customer insight in particular ways. So whether that be through intercepts, face-to-face intercepts, whether that be through the Wi-Fi portal, the post-journey customer satisfaction survey, industry research, and joining it together to create a holistic picture of the customer experience. That's been our sort of underlying principle with our approach. And then generally things have sort of naturally fallen into two buckets: technology and innovation, and people. So both in technology, what we have on stations and trains in particular, with the tools that customers can use to receive information, and clearly not just on the station and train, but before they travel as well. And then with people, with our culture, our training, our empowerment of colleagues as the face of our railway, to actually be able to deliver for customers and be able to respond appropriately to what's happening when there's disruption.
So in terms of then how the live route map came about, which is what we're going to show you and to be talking about for the rest of our presentation. You can see on the screen some of the types of customer insight we were getting, specifically around how to complete a journey in disruption and what alternative travel options there are, and other things that we know that are important to customers to be able to find out when they're trying to complete a journey. So looking at this, we knew that we needed something, and it was really important that we also had something that would help self-serve customers who, on a lot of our stations, there isn't a member of staff to be able to deliver that information. So we looked and we took some inspiration from other talks that we'd already seen with a live alternative route map, and we thought that we would build something similar for ourselves, but something that would not only just give alternative journey information, but something that would allow customers to plan a whole journey and be able to find out other stuff that we know is important to them, like station facilities or the accessibility provision that we have at each location. So before we go on to show you the videos, there is a QR code on the screen, which if you've got a phone and you want to scan it, it will take you to our live map. So while the video is going and it's demoing kind of some of the key features, feel free to have a look at the same time. Our live alternative route map can be found in a number of places that allows customers to use the tool in and out of disruption. Within our website, this can be found on the travel information section, but it is also pinned to any disruption messages that appear on the front page of our website, and customers can access this both on a PC, tablet or phone, as the link is also embedded into our app. Upon opening up, customers can see the entire GA network on display, and it also shows other adjacent rail operators and connections, as well as the Oyster and contactless fare area. Customers can scroll across the map to where they would like to go, and they can also search for a station in the search box, and this will take them directly to the location they have just entered. We're currently working on a development that will geolocate where you are on the map in comparison to where you actually are, so that when you open the map, it takes you to your actual location. When opening the key, this shows a selection of symbols and colours to visually reference how our service is running at a glance and what else is showing on the map. Feedback from the accessibility group at GA helped develop the colour schemes and symbols to make sure that everything in the map can be seen by all. Black equals a full timetabled service running on the GA network, and we hope to obviously see this most of the time.
But in the event of disruption, different colours and symbols appear to show the severity of the disruption between applicable stations and also what alternative transport options customers have to complete their journey. These then only appear in the key when they're relevant and on the map. There are also different station symbols that denote a number of things, including the step-free access available at a station and other key interchanges along the map. When in the map, customers are able to click on each location individually to find out more information about where they are or where they might be travelling to. Let's take Cambridge, for example. When a customer clicks on Cambridge Station, the first tab they're met with are the departures. This is live train running time, and it shows each departure from Cambridge Station, including which platform the services are running from, whether there's any delays, and it even shows the number of coaches that are being formed for each service. This allows customers to assess how busy their train may be and plan which service they would like to get on. The next tab shows the information about Cambridge Station that customers may need to know, including the address, the ticket office opening times, information about parking, and any information about key facilities that are available at the station, including where they're located. For example, it will show customers if there are toilets available, and here in this example, it shows customers that they're located on platform 4 alongside the accessible toilet facilities. The next tab shows accessibility for Cambridge. So this shows customers the accessibility provision that we have available at this station. It shows customers whether there's step-free access and what other facilities may be available, such as a ramp or an induction loop and national key toilets. There's also information about how you can book assistance to encourage people to make sure that they book this to make sure that their journey runs smoothly and they get the assistance they need. The next two tabs are relevant to alternative transport methods. The first tab shows a departure list of all the local running buses. It shows that the time that they're scheduled for, and if they are running late, the expected section on the right will depict and show how long the delay is in its arrival time. You can then see in the next tab, it takes you to a map and it shows you where those bus stops are, including where rail replacement bus stops are in comparison to the station. Customers can zoom in and see exactly where the station is and almost plan a walking route to how to get to these locations. This is extremely important in other locations that are more rural than Cambridge, where it shows the bus stops a bit further away from the station, so customers are clearly able to see this as well as knowing what time they should get these buses. We've also put in a future engineering works calendar for customers to be able to plan their journeys in advance when we have disruption that is planned. In the bottom left-hand corner, customers are able to open up a calendar to select a date and time in the future and see where any improvement works are taking place along our network, and also see any rail replacement we have in operation to help them complete their journey. You can see in this example that on Sunday the 26th of October, the map then changes to show in purple where there is engineering work taking place between Peterborough and Thetford. In the key, you can see that this shows to customers that there is engineering work taking place, but rail replacement is in operation. Once customers have got this information, they can then refer to the previous information within the station and find out where to take these buses from. The map shows them where the bus stops are in relation to the station so that they can ensure that they can take these buses and complete their journey and have this information in advance to make the journey as smooth as possible. Once in the map, customers are visually shown the location of the disruption on our network and can move their position on the map to get a better overview of what the impact is by seeing the different colours and symbols that then appear on it. The line of route, which is shown in black when the service is running as planned, turns to red or amber to indicate that disruption is taking place. Amber lines depict minor disruption and the red lines depict a more severe delay. The colours in the map clearly show that the locations that are impacted by the disruption, and customers can click into individual station locations to see a breakdown of the current departures as well as an overview banner explaining the delays that are currently ongoing. Here, customers can see any cancellations or delays and the reason why these are being experienced, and the messaging aligns with any other customer information that is being put out by Greater Anglia. Customers can navigate into the other tabs to find out relevant station information for the location they are either at or trying to get to, which is especially important if arriving at a station is unfamiliar due to a disrupted journey. The map also shows, using purple and black lines, any local buses or rail replacement buses that are in operation that customers can then use to complete their journey. The bus icon and the bus map icon takes customers to some tabs that allow them to see the live bus times of any local buses and the bus stops for both local and rail replacement services, and seeing these in comparison to where they are at the station. All of the colours and icons that are shown in the map at one time can then be seen in the key to help customers become familiar with what they mean and better understand what options they have to get to their destination.
So in terms of how the map is being promoted currently and how we're making it visible to customers and colleagues, so we're using a range of online information services, so like our app and our website, and then various different QR coded material at stations, so on posters that take customers to the map themselves, and leaflets and flyers. And then for colleagues, we've built an app version on all of their work phones so that they can have it there and they can support customers when they're using their devices. And then we also go out and we demo any new features that we're adding, and also share it with all our colleagues when they join GA in the onboarding process. And then in terms of what we're looking to do then to promote it in the future and just make it more visible to everybody, we really want to be able to fully integrate it into our app. So while it's currently embedded with a link that then takes you out, we want to have that so that customers can access it right in the GA app. And then in the same breath, we also want to do something similar with our internal disruption communication system and embed that into the map, but for a colleague version only, so that they can just have that as their one-stop shop to be able to help customers on stations. And then we want to just continue to use our customer committee and also the use of our CX Champions network group to really drive forward and define the roadmap and test the things that we want to put out there so that they're kind of really meaningful and come from real customers. So looking at these are some of the things that we want to do with Velociti in the next 12 months or so. You can see there's a range of things that we want to put into our map and build into it to make it a tool that customers can go to and have that as their one place to access information. You can see there's lots of different examples of things we want to do there, but a lot of it is about integrating live information, such as like live loading and live station facilities and train facilities, so that customers have got all of that in one place and they can really plan a journey thoroughly.
Finally, just in conclusion, as Evie mentioned, the developments of the live map, we're keen to push on as we see that as being a really powerful tool to our customers and our colleagues. And we're keen to mention, again, as we heard earlier from TFW, the importance of engaging colleagues in this as well, really powerful. And then really we're surrounded by a lot of industry change, again, as we've heard already, a lot of it unknown to all of us, including myself. We've recently just, as I said, become part of DFTO. There's an alliance locally within Anglia that's just been established where we'll partner with C2C and Network Rail under a single leadership team. That will no doubt bring change and opportunity with that too. And then more longer term, as we move towards GBR, even greater collaboration and a sense of moving towards the CX standards that I've already referenced as well. So lots of change and surrounds us really, but with that, an opportunity to take things forward.